this is also known as congenital vertebral dislocation. All right. So the involved vertebrae is malformed and the adjacent vertebrae are also abnormal. You do not need to learn all of these situations. Now, what will happen, larger, smaller, posterior elements. They can present in n number of ways, the superior and the inferior aspect. All right, so this is if this is the malformed vertebrae, we'll consider this as a hypoplastic vertebrae, dysplastic vertebrae. Then we have two vertebral bodies, which are not aligned and causing significant amount of kyphosis, significant amount of retrograde dislocation. This is showing enterolisthesis and a significant anterior deviation. So all of this, the gist of the situation is that there is a segmental abnormality, segmentation abnormality. And because of that segmentation abnormality, this is happening. All right. And what is important is the amount of the neural compromise that it is doing. It is much more important than giving names to these vertebrae. In case you're not able to do that, it's perfectly fine. The gist of this situation is that what we want to say is that above and below vertebrae could be small, could be big, could be partly segmented. Their posterior elements might be abnormal, they might be missing, they might be ill-formed, they could be anything. All right. And mostly at one focal level, it causes compromise, whereas the levels of canal above and below it are mostly normal. All right. So that's what it wants to say. And the patient can present with neurological deficits, bladder bowel incontinence. So the cord above and below, the thecal sac above and below seems to be okay, but significantly compromised at this level. And look at the associated sacrum. All right, where predominantly the left lateral aspect is absent and the right is, taking much of the space and forming the major component. But the presence of the left aspect will stop you from calling it as a hemivertebrate. All right. Moving ahead, segmental spinal dysgenesis, when entire segment is involved. The entire gist of the situation is again what I have talked to you. All right. This is something how a segmental spinal dysgenesis works. Right. When a significant component, a significant column is associated, and if you look closely, they both appear to be involved. So congenital dislocation is is quite commonly a part of segmental dysgenesis. What a segment that a group of vertebrae, 3 or 4 vertebrae are affected. And when they're affected, obviously to a severe degree, they will lose their alignment. And the hypoplastic part will lead to their either enterolisthesis, lateral angulations, posterior angulations, and if posteriorly angulated, they're gonna compromise the cord. All right. Okay, so the sacrum, yeah, so we'll come to that in general, but yeah, the sacrum, there is sacral agenesis, there is clefting of the sacral vertebrae. The segmentation abnormalities are also involving the sacrum in this particular one. Look at this cleft, look at this part, and the lower part is not visualized. It's clefting along with sacral agenesis in that patient, right? So do not forget to look at the sacrum. What this entire thing shows or tells you, it's just the same. Multi-level, when you say it has multi-level, that means it's just more severe form, which is involving multiple vertebrae, leading to involvement of a segment, maybe 3 or 4 vertebrae altogether involved. Again, dysplastic vertebrae leading to thecal sac compromise and their association with different kind of syndromes. You just have to describe what you see. Right. So if suppose this is the case, then suppose this is the 5th vertebrae, this is the 4th vertebrae. Right. So you do see that it is dysplastic, it is malformed vertebrae. Right. Then you additionally see that there is another osseous structure which is close to it. Might be an additional malformed vertebrae which is trying to move along with it. All right. The thing is that all of this is causing a significant posterior dislocation again and causing significant neural compromise. Look at the cord, which again appears to be thickened caudally to the site of the obstruction. All right. Again, look at the cord. Do not just focus on the vertebrae. Look at the cord, which is low lying, appears to be tethered at this location. All right. So tethering of the cord is something which coexists. So when you're looking at the vertebral column, look at the spine. They work together. They evolve together. All right. So this is again segmental spinal dysgenesis. Again saying dysgenesis, dysplasias are the word where a consolidation of abnormalities are present. Yes, cord is so long. Yes, right.